why we wear costumes on Purim. The most famous reason is probably because just like we wear masechot, we wear masks, so did Esther. She did not show who she really was to the king until later on in the story. But I'd like to share with you one of my very, very favorite stories, and I hope you like it. Just like Ahasuerus, there was another king in a town just like Shushan. And unfortunately, he was not the biggest fan of the Jewish people. And he actually went up to the Jewish people and said, unfortunately, your time here is up. You cannot stay in my city, in my country any longer. And they asked him, they said, please, give us one chance. Try one chance. Let us stay. So the king thought for a second. He said, okay, fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one person, the smartest person out of all the Jewish people. I'm going to give him a test. And I'm going to ask a whole bunch of questions. And if he answers the questions right, I'll let you stay. But if he gets any of those questions wrong, you must leave immediately. So they went to this scholarly, great, brilliant rabbi, and they said, you are the one to be able to answer these questions because you're the smartest of us all. And the rabbi said, I can't do it. Why not? Because I know this king, he's not going to ask fair questions. He's going to ask questions that are impossible to answer, and there's no way I'll know that. So they looked around, and they said, is there anyone here that could possibly answer and take this test? Silence. Couldn't hear a word. Until finally, all the way in the back, there was this guy. He said, I'll do it. And they looked at him, and it was Yankel. And they're like, what did you say? He goes, yeah, I'll do it. I can pass any of these tests, not a problem. And the people said, I think we're in a lot of trouble, but let's give it a try. No one else wants to take the test. So it came to the day. Yankel went to the palace, and there stood the king. All of the people were around, waiting. What was this king going to ask? Because the king didn't tell anyone the questions in advance. So the king said, okay, out of all you great people, who's the one of all of you that is going to be the one taking this test? Me! I'll do it! On this, the king looked at him and started to laugh. This guy! There's no way he's going to pass this test. This is going to be simple. So the king said, okay, you ready? Question number 1. But the king didn't say a word. Instead, the king looked right at Yankel, and he did this. And without a second of hesitation, Yankel turned back, and he did that. And all the people are like, he obviously doesn't know what he's talking about. The king, his jaw dropped. And he said, I can't believe it. All the people around him said, what do you mean, king? He goes, he got the question right. And everyone's like, I have no idea what he was asking. I have no idea what the answer was. This guy must have been a genius to figure it all out. The king said, He's not going to get the second one right. Impossible. Question number 2. The king looked straight into Yankel's eye. And he went like this. And Yankel, once again, unbelievable. Not even a second. He immediately went like that. And then he turned to the king. Now they weren't so sure about this guy. And the king once again said, "He got it right again. He got 2 questions right. But, there's no way he'll get the third answer correct. It's impossible. My third and final question is as follows." And he didn't say a word. He took a big bag of rice and he cut open this bag filled with rice and he poured it all over the ground, poured it all over the floor, pushed the bag away, and all of a sudden he started stepping all over the rice. And you could see a big smile and a twinkle in his eye because he knew he's not going to get this one right. And Yankel was looking around, and then finally he saw that bag. So he went and grabbed it, he bent down, and he scooped up all the rice, and he threw the bag over his shoulder. He ran out of the palace. And that was the last time the king ever saw that guy. But the king said, "You know what? He got the third question correct as well. And because you have such a great man in all the Jewish people, you were able to come up with this answer, all these 3 answers, I decided to let you stay." And all the Jewish people left, and the king, of course, was staying in his palace. And all the wise men turned to the king and then said, "We were watching what was going on. But to be honest, we didn't understand. There's questions, there's answers. What exactly was going on?" The king said, "I'll tell you. It was a tremendous philosophical debate between me and that genius, that brilliant man. I went up to him, I said, I want to tell you, I am not just a simple king. I am like a god. I do believe there's a God in heaven, but I'm also God. There's two gods." And that man looked right at me and said, "No, you may be powerful, but there's only one. Hashem Echad, there's only one God." The second question, I told him, I said, the Jewish people are spread out throughout the entire nation. And they're not strong. They're weak. And on this he said, it's not true. One day we will come all together. And we will be strong and united and fight. Be able to win. And the third question, I took all this rice and I poured it all over the floor. I stepped on it. I said, "You are just like this rice. You're not powerful. In fact, I am the one who's powerful. I can step all over you, just like this rice." And he said, "Maybe you aren't powerful now, King, but one day we'll all come back together, just like he did. And we'll be unified. We'll be all strong and one once again." So what am I supposed to do? I'm going to let this guy stay. In the meanwhile, they turned to Yankel and they said, "Yankel, what was going on?" We heard a bunch of questions, a bunch of answers. So Yankel was in his house and he was enjoying some dinner. He was eating some rice. The rice that he got off the floor. And they said, "Yankel," he said, "Hey, listen, what was going on? What were the questions? What were the answers?" So he said, "I'll tell ya. That king, I couldn't believe it. There were all these people standing around. The king walks right up to me. And he says, 'You know, I'm going to poke you right in the eye.' And I said, you better not do that, buddy. If you know what's good for you, you better not do that. And then, would you believe it? Can't believe you said this. He walked right up to me and he said, I'm going to slap you right across the face. And I said, you better not do that, buddy. You know what's good for you. And you know, people say that I'm a simple guy, Yankel, the simple guy, and this guy, the king, is so smart. I couldn't believe what he did. He took all this delicious food, he poured it all on the floor, he started stepping all over it. I'm like, why is he wasting all this good food? So I decided to scoop it all up, and I brought it home, and I had a delicious, delicious meal. And that's the story of Yankel. But what does that have to do with costumes? So, I'll tell you, I saw some amazing costumes yesterday. I saw people dressed up as kings, princesses. I saw people dressed up as superheroes, animals. Now the interesting thing, all different things. Now, what's interesting is, on Purim, when I looked at all those people, I didn't say, gee, this person is dressed up like a teddy bear. I didn't actually think he was a teddy bear. I thought, I know him. He's just wearing a costume. Sometimes we see things and we think we know why things are happening. Sometimes we may have a friend that we walk down the hall and we say good morning, and they don't say good morning back. But it's not necessarily because they're upset at me or they're trying to ignore me. Maybe they have something else going on. Maybe they have something else they're thinking about. So it's important to realize, just like on Purim, that we wear costumes and we don't look so quickly to judge them and say, oh, that person must really be a teddy bear. Instead, we say, you know, there's something behind who that costume is, and that's a person that we know and love. So I wish each and every one of you a very happy Shushan Purim and Shabbat Shalom.